Mortal Kombat episode 43. What's up, everybody?
What's up, everyone? My name is Zach.
Yes. Hi, Zach.
Hey, Zach. Nathan.
Oh, my name is Zach. Hi, Zach. My name is Zach. No, my name is Nathan. And I am Zachary's sibling.
Yep, and I am Nathan's sibling.
Yes, and welcome to the Mortal Kombat podcast.
Mortal Kombat.
This is the podcast where we talk about trauma and healing.
Mm-hmm.
It's been specific to religious trauma. We were raised with a father as a pastor.
Mm-hmm. Still is a pastor.
Parents who are very religious, and we developed some trauma from being born in that religion, which we no longer follow because we got out.
Alive.
And not everybody.
Not everyone does.
Not everyone does. But as we've moved on to episode now 43.
43. Sheesh.
We're not always talking about religious trauma. We're just talking about...
It's been a lot about healing.
Life.
Yeah.
Our podcast is just, I think that's, Moral Kombat's about the combat of life.
Yeah.
The morality of combat of morality.
Yeah. We did have a good 25, 26 episodes where we focused heavily on religious trauma. We still do go back and forth to religious trauma, especially with the moment to Reddit that we did last week.
That was heavy.
It was talk about,
that was fun.
It was great. A lot of sex talk. We got to talk more about sex.
It's vulnerable.
And I have a lot to say about it.
I got spicy.
Yeah, I loved it.
I got real vulnerable that one. I was when I was editing it because I edit the full long length of these podcasts while Zachary edits the shorts and short content and videos.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get to rewatch and edit the podcast that we talk about, which we were saying is hands down one of the most surprising forms of therapy that this podcast has been for us, is the fact that not only are we getting honestly vulnerable on this podcast, talking about trauma, talking about conflict and then the healing, but also going back and re-listening to our own selves has been surprisingly wild.
I think that's the part of the therapy.
I think that the way I've compared it is, in that movie The Martian where Matt Damon is filming himself and he's
now I just want to watch it.
I'm a space pirate, whatever he says. And he's this idea of or other movies like Avatar where he's having to record himself and he's like, I don't know why I'm sitting here recording myself, but there's something about if you could record yourself every day for 10 minutes a day, just talking about your day, video journaling, the hard stuff, the stuff that was fun. And then if every week you rewatched every video diary, that'd probably be really healing. You'd be
totally.
Oh. And
there's something about reliving your life and reflecting on
seeing
it later.
Yourself.
Yeah, seeing yourself from a past experience, you talking about something that is troubling to you.
Right.
And then hearing yourself say it, watch yourself say it, that you kind of are I feel like I'm growing out of that emotion or that trauma that I'm talking about because I'm talking about it, watching myself. There's something super special there.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's very fascinating.
And then tell me if this happens with you where I say something way more vulnerable or everything's been vulnerable, but you being, having a lot of practice being vulnerable with each other and being vulnerable publicly and then putting it online is you get better being vulnerable, in this way. And I feel like some things I said the last cast after we were done, I was kind of nervous.
Totally.
I was feeling wow, I can't believe I actually talked about those things. I never really talk about that stuff. And then when I'm thinking it's a big deal and it's heavy because it is, and then I go back and I'm editing it. And when I get to the part of where I'm nervous, am I really gonna, because I can edit all that out if I wanted. And I watch it and I realize it literally is not a big deal.
Yeah.
But what appears to me as being a big deal, and then the way I remember it being an even bigger deal in real life, and I think how other people see it, because I'm now seeing myself in a second a third person, whatever. I'm Nathan, you're not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Or the issues that you think you're having aren't as bad as you make them out to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's it really is ego killing.
Mm-hmm.
It's man, your memory is more egotistical than the reality of you.
Totally. 100%.
It's fascinating. And so I love that because then I watch it and I'm just proud of myself for saying these things and then realizing don't make such a big deal about it.
Yeah.
You're just a person.
Yeah.
So it's been good.
Yeah.
We've been getting real and we're going to get real tonight or this afternoon. It is Sunday afternoon at around 6:50.
And we just had Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, by the way, my man.
Thank you. Thank you. And I am a father of my son.
You have a father of a human. I'm the father of a dog.
Dog, yes. In which you are a daddy to your doggy.
Yeah, I am.
And my son today on Father's Day also turned 12 years old.
Yeah, goodness gracious.
That's, what an accomplishment for the 12-year-old. And an accomplishment for me being here 12 years. Still going strong.
Definitely.
Because he's like a teenager now.
Yeah, he's getting there. He's getting to the real teen years.
Father's Days are different now than they used to be, too. Mm-hmm. He made me a very cute card. And it was like, Happy Father's Day. You're the best. Happy Father's Day, Dad. You're the best dad in the world. Happy Father's Day.
Yep.
It's like, and there was a picture of him. Like he drew a picture of himself holding a heart. And it was like a hand holding a heart like this. So it's like, oh, wow. Thanks. Going on the fridge.
Going on the fridge. Please be careful with my heart.
Yeah. Is that my heart?
Is that my heart you're holding? Please be careful. Yeah, he's showing his powers, what he's doing. Happy Father's Day, Dad.
Yeah, he's all, how did you do that? Some voodoo.
Son, relax. Ow,
he's
son.
Like, Dad, watch this. But yeah, thank you. It's, it's always Father's Day for me is a little bit, we were just over at our parents' house, which is funny because this podcast, we've talked a lot about them, but not like specifically, just more of our experience being raised in the church, and they are the church.
Yeah.
And so,
but still very strongly the church too.
We had a great Father's Day.
Yeah, we did.
A great dinner. We had a great talk about art, and our mom's a writer and our dad's a pastor, and you're a musician, and I'm jumping into some new arts, and we all just sat outside and had a really good, like, open conversation about what it means to be an artist. Mm-hmm. It was good.
It was great. It would have been a beautiful podcast.
It would have been. And I think that for you and I, this podcast has really helped and like have like produce more of like we can have that with our family.
I think it's trained us on how to have good,
healthy,
constructive, healthy conversations.
Yeah.
Because the whole time we were having that conversation with them, there's so many times I wanted to interrupt you and be like, and this, and like all my ADHD thoughts. But the whole time, like, but he's making really good content right now. Let him go.
Making really good live content.
Yeah, but seriously, that's what goes through my head. And I think we've gotten a lot better at not interrupting each other over the 43 episodes of doing this. Well, now 43rd episode, but that it is really reflective in my life on having conversations with people. I'm getting better at it.
That's a really good point you make, because I think that a lot in just conversations where I'm wanting to add to what someone's saying. In my head, it's like, ooh, add. And they're like still talking. And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Stop talking.
Yeah.
And let them talk.
Yeah.
And normally by the end they're talking, I'm like, you had nothing to say anyway.
Exactly.
They were saying something.
You were going to say something about yourself.
Yeah.
And you just should have listened.
You were going to bring up your ego.
Yeah.
I do have something to show also, because not only am I a father of my son and dogs, or a dog and cats and all this, but I'm also a plant daddy. And we're starting to get into harvest season. So I got some plants.
You're a plant shepherd, dog.
If
you had some tomatoes out there and that was it, and maybe some garlic, I'd be like, yeah, you're a plant daddy. But you got so much shit out there.
I have a lot of shit
that
now.
I'm like, no, you got more than one kid out there. I got some things to show. You have a whole family. You have a whole fucking commune out there.
So everyone knows what zucchinis are, and these are some beautiful tiny zucchinis.
Those are baby peepees.
These are little babies, but they cook well. I just clipped this one off the garden. And
I feel like that's a little small.
I mean, zucchinis can be really big, but these are the first ones. So I've already like harvested like 8 of them. And then there's like one a day. Literally, there's like won't be one. And then I come home from work and it's like, and
they grow that fast, really?
Very fast.
Wow.
And you have to clip them really fast, or else the plant will go into thinking it's done and it won't do it anymore.
How do you know when to clip it?
You just like, you feel the skin or whatever, and you just start to learn, like, this is a beautiful looking zucchini.
Yeah, it looks
nice
great.
And tiny. You chop it up. But here on this cast, we like to test things, and I can't test everything.
Okay.
And I don't want to eat the end of it. So here's your zucchini. That was a good zucchini. I'm serious.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I bet. What makes a good zucchini? How do you know it's good?
Homegrown?
Yeah, but like, how could you tell the difference from a Safeway zucchini?
It's from Safeway?
Okay.
This is from the garden, baby. So, homegrown zucchini.
Oh yeah, just take it. Keep going.
Yep.
Love this. I love the sound effects.
Garlic.
Yeah, eat the whole thing.
Okay.
You gotta take a bite out of it.
Now, you might be seeing this right now and think that's just a bulb. This is a garlic baby, and I had to harvest this one a little bit early, maybe a little bit too early, but actually they need to dry and cure for about 2 weeks. So this is hanging in the shed, and take a big whiff of that.
Ooh, that
baby.
smells good.
Oh, baby. When that's done curing in 2 weeks, we chop that up and put that in some pasta, baby. Okay?
I strongly advise you just to taste it.
No, I'm not going to do that.
I
can't taste
take a
everything.
little bite out of it.
I'll keep eating this. Needed to see if that garlic was ready. Here we have. Can you guess what these are?
They look, if it's not garlic, it looks like an onion.
Shallots.
Yeah.
Shallots are like gourmet onions. You know, they're of the same family, same with garlic and all that.
What's the family?
I don't know.
Allium.
They're alliums? How do you know that?
I work in 5-star.
Oh, that's right. You work at 5-star. You would think I would know that. I read that before, but I'm forgetting it. So these are beautiful shallots, and you cut off the ends here, and you peel off the skin, and you get these roots. And so I have a ton in the house already, and there's like 15 other of these bunches hanging in the shed. And last but not least, there's been other things I've harvested, but these are the ones that I'm showing you.
This is very exciting. I'm very much enjoying this part of the podcast. I didn't know this was going to happen.
Potatoes, baby.
Oh, those look beautiful.
They are. These are red potatoes. We've been cooking. We made garlic potatoes the other night.
They're probably so good.
Oh, these are amazing. Just kidding. I would not eat like a fresh potato. But yeah, check that baby out.
Oh, this looks really good.
Yep. And we have about 1,000 more of these in the garden.
Really?
You have more like 150 potatoes probably chilling in the bunch. These are from a small bag.
So what are you going to do when they all harvest at the same time?
Well, I harvested these a week and a half ago, and they cure over 2 weeks, and then you can leave them in a dark, cold place for like 6 months.
Really? They don't grow?
Well,
because we just had a bunch of potatoes start sprouting.
These might start sprouting, but I mean, they cook really easily. Yeah. I'll give them away. These are amazing.
Is it just a myth that I've heard or that mom raised us with that when potatoes start sprouting, if you don't like take the sprouts out and you cook them, that it can poison you?
There's certain parts of potatoes, the leaves, that are poisonous.
Yeah.
And the sprouts, though, they don't kill you. They can give you stomach upset.
Gotcha.
And I forget the name. It's like starts with an S, cerarium or something.
Syphilis.
Yes.
Yes.
Syphilis can give you a bad tummy ache.
Yeah.
And so if you get syphilis, you don't want to eat syphilis because you can get a really bad tummy ache.
Yeah.
And that's on the skins of potatoes.
Dude, I learned that lesson the hard way.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You want to talk about it?
Not on this podcast. Maybe on the next podcast.
And there's got to be, there is some, in the multiverse, there is some reality where syphilis only gives you a tummy ache.
Yeah, I know.
and it grows on potato skins.
It grows on potato skins, and I ate it.
That's a reality. And they don't call them potatoes. They call them sapatitos. Sapatitos give you syphilis. It grows on the skin. It's just a bad tummy ache.
It's just a bad tum-tums.
Tum-tum ache.
Yeah.
But then did you know this, that potatoes, right? They have these great green foliage. You've seen them out there.
Yeah.
And then they produce flowers. And normally all that dies. And that's normally the sign that it's time to harvest your potatoes and cure them. Sometimes those flowers, though, produce fruit because potatoes are of the same family as tomatoes.
Really?
And those fruits are like tiny little tomatoes. And they're like green little tomatoes, and those are poisonous. The leaves are poisonous, and the stems are poisonous. Okay. Do not eat those.
I thought you were going to tell me some like secret, and it's like, I ate one, and they're really good.
And did you know they cure warts?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, nope, those are toxic. If you eat those, you probably going to die.
You know those canker sores you get in your mouth or cold sores?
Yeah.
If you bite into one of those fruits that grow off potato plants, gone in a day.
Gone in a day.
And you die.
And you die.
Anyways, I just ate that whole zucchini. That was delicious.
You know, you make it look really delicious.
Thank you. That's what I do in this. I mean, you can go back to last season when I was eating carrots and...
That was a fun short. It sounded really good. That's going to sound really good too.
Yeah. Zucchinis, baby, from Nene Farms.
Yeah. Nene Farms.
Nene Farms.
Love it. I can't wait. And we need to do this. I need to start growing my mushrooms here because I don't have enough room in my condo to do it. And then also we could show the mushrooms on the cast because that's what I'm doing is growing all sorts of different mushrooms.
Like
I want to get into lion's mane. I want to get into gourmet shiitakes.
The rules are this: at the Nene Farms, you're only allowed to grow things that are legal.
Everything's legal in my world.
Unfortunately, not mine, because I have a fiance who has made it very clear that you're only allowed to grow legal things on my farm. I'm serious.
I'm your fiance now.
No, dude. And she said, if Uncle Zach has any problems with that, he can talk to me. And I was like, for sure. You know,
well, I'm going to have to talk with you.
You know how it goes.
I'm going to have to talk with your woman.
Find yourself a woman that lays down the ground rules.
I guess I'm going to buy a storage unit.
It's and you know how true that is, right? That's like we mean Megan. We're talking about it. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like, fuck, I'm not growing mushrooms here. I am about to. I inoculated 5 bags of lion's mane, and 2 of them are growing very slow, which is a bad sign. I
am getting a greenhouse, and we can do all of that.
Oh, dude, it's everything or nothing.
I know. Zinga.
But I am about to start the lion's mane cutting and everything, and I'm excited about that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know, I think this is a really good segue. We've been shooting the shit now, talking about great stuff.
Yeah.
But our topic today is substance abuse.
Substance abuse.
Or substance use.
Substance use.
And what makes substance use become substance abuse? And how has it portrayed itself in our lives?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of religious trauma, there seems to be, without blaming anything, kind of a direct correlation to
for us, and just like how it's looked in our lives, and so I think trauma.
Let's jump into it.
Yeah, let's just start there. I think trauma, from my experience, it would have been lovely to have some science behind this, but who cares? We don't need science.
We're just talking about ourselves.
I think trauma is probably the underbelly of like where the abuse, where the dependence starts. Is the substance gives you an escape from something, either yourself or a fear or a past memory that you're not even consciously aware is affecting you. But when you drink, you feel better. And that goes away. And so you start depending on the alcohol or drugs or whatever it be. I feel like trauma is a direct correlation to the addiction side of substance.
Is this, in your eyes, does substance abuse always have to do with addiction? Is that like, is substance abuse and addiction the same?
Not at all. I think addiction is you've taken a substance far enough on a daily basis that your body and mind can't function properly without it. Whereas I think abuse is who you become on the substance and how it ruins other people's lives around you.
So, and there's, of course, there's like, there's psychological and scientific definitions for these things. And I think it's important that what we're going to try to do is stay just focused in our own lives, right? Yeah. Like in what we perceive just as ourselves and try to be vulnerable. Yeah. Like the last cast was a little more specific, and we had like posts that we were jumping off of that got more vulnerable and specific. And, but I guess I can ask you a question and then you can ask me a question.
Sounds good.
Go back and forth. Okay. Truth or dare?
Truth or dare? Dare.
Okay. Take your pen.
Yes.
Do you, how do I say this? Like, this is just the question. Do you feel like you have substance abuse in your life right now?
No. Yeah, I really don't. I think if I really wanted to dive deep into my new experience with marijuana, there has been times where I was abusing it.
Do you think of marijuana as like other substances? It is a substance, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but like, do you, in your mind, does it have the same relationship as other substances?
No, it's plant medicine. I've really, my opinion on substance has changed a lot this very last 6 months of me diving deep into microdosing psilocybin. And then also I used to be so afraid of weed and starting to use marijuana pretty religiously every night to whatever benefit it works for me. It feels like a good disconnect for my brain and to relax. A lot of times it's actually not that. It's the opposite. It's a lot of introspection, but it's different than having a glass of wine or a drink. Yeah. That is very disassociative. It's different than doing a line of Adderall. It's different than other substances that I have used that were that directly blind a part of me.
So then let's just go through the list. Let's go through the gamut, and we can both just talk about let's start with alcohol. Throughout your life, how have you abused alcohol?
I think I abused alcohol. For a long time, but I was surrounded by friends that were abusing it more than me. And so it was easy to overlook how I was abusing it, but I was also being influenced by them abusing it too. Being surrounded by now openly alcoholics that have either gone to rehab or not is what I'm talking about. And the partying with them before they knew they were an alcoholic and watching them abuse it, learning traits from them on how they drink. But I've definitely gone through pretty consistent years of my life, especially in my younger 20s when we were doing dance music. And far after when I lived in New Orleans and everything, where definitely I abused alcohol. But I would never consider myself an alcoholic. Have you ever gone through phases of your life where you
with alcohol?
Yeah. Or do you consider yourself an alcoholic or?
Well, I mean, some of these things, it's like, I'm not really using any substances anymore.
Yeah.
Besides, psychedelic or just plant medicine therapy. That's like,
we'll go into plant medicine.
Right,
just
sure.
Right now, it's focused on alcohol.
I quit drinking.
Yeah.
Right. January 1st of 2021.
Why'd you do that?
Because I was great at partying. And I was never really somebody that was a nightly drinker. I guess in my current relationship, when you're with somebody that you really love and you're in a routine and you're working your job every day, it's really easy to fall into coming home every day and wanting a glass of scotch. And so maybe 3 times out of the week, I started to find myself having a glass of scotch, which led to 2 glasses of scotch. On a Thursday night before a Friday work day or something, or then Friday night. But I was never a nightly drinker. It was when I most of my life, it was kind of from when I really, even before I was 21, I started to build more of just this picture of if I'm going out with friends, me and my friends, part of the hanging out was getting drunk or doing something, getting super stoned but alcohol wasn't really a powerful substance in my life until I turned 21. And it was powerful before, but it wasn't in the same, it didn't become a part of my culture. And then most things, because I did in high school, I wasn't going to house parties and getting drunk.
Yeah, you were. What are you talking about? In high school?
I had a couple times, but it wasn't we're talking maybe senior year.
Yeah.
Most, when it came to drinking, senior year, end of senior year, and then freshman year of college.
I think that's really common for a lot of people though.
And college was and especially when I started going to the University of San Francisco.
Yeah. And
these private school kids, dude, they're crazy.
Yeah.
And I just learned what real drinking was. But but for me, the alcohol abuse was mostly I could drink a lot. And it was, sometimes I was able to have a glass, but in all of my time of drinking, I've never been good at just having one and enjoying that feeling, taking a load off. It's always been well, what am I doing here?
Let's definitely have a second one.
If I'm drinking, I'm going to drink to have a feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that feeling? Not feeling anything. It's so this was the idea was I want to feel good. How do you feel good? Well, I and it always ended up being drunk or some form of extreme buzzed. And so, yeah, man. I remember in college, it was just man, we would have Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights. Yeah. Benders were a usual thing.
Yeah.
I was getting good grades and still able to be Thursday, Thursday was college night and it would be out till 2, 3 a.m. and just hammered, and then Friday night, week's over, hammered. And then this I had a year of college where I wasn't working. The only year of my life I wasn't working.
Yeah.
And that was just all game. And there was just, yeah, man. And I actually kind of hated it because it would like, I'd feel so shitty on Fridays, but I was like so used, like school was really hard and I'd be nervous about school or anxious about this or that. And so if I went to school hungover, then I wouldn't be worrying about school. I'd be worrying about the fact that I didn't feel good, you know? And it was like, I don't know what to do with my life on a Saturday. Well, it's like, well, you're hungover, so you're just surviving.
Yeah. It's almost like you could control how you're going to feel bad the next day. So it felt good to be okay drinking the night before.
Right.
Because that's going to be what makes you feel bad, not yourself.
Exactly. Like a big party night of like Friday night partying and drinking would be like feeling super hungover and sick on Saturday, but we're going to go and get brunch with a bunch of friends and eat a huge breakfast and drink a ton of water and go to a park
and get mimosas while you're there. Make you feel a little better.
Hair on the dog.
Yeah.
Oh, hair on the dog helps your hangovers. You want to know what also really helps a hangover? Not drinking to the point of where you get hungover.
Yeah.
Right. So it was always like having control of that bad feeling felt like I was having control over something. And so, yeah, I was a major alcoholic, 100%. And I never really admitted it until I realized I needed to be honest about the fact that I never learned or could learn, at least in my life now. And, or when I was drinking, like I never was drinking for the enjoyment of drinking. It was because like I'm with the love of my life, my partner, but we're going to watch a movie and I can't like, what am I going to do? Watch a movie sober?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? There was always this weird feeling that I would suppress and it'd be like, and so then it would be like, you know, we'd be drinking or whatever, or I would, you know, like, and she was a much more controlled drinker. And I learned that that type of anxiety of being like, I don't want to like watch a movie without like, you know, like it's Friday night. Let's go get a bottle of scotch. Let's have 3 glasses of scotch.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and that would be, I mean, just because I know you and we drank a lot together, just 3 glasses is nothing.
It didn't feel like, back then it didn't feel like anything.
That would be like, oh, you just 3 glasses. We could go out still. We could do a bunch of stuff. You know, it's like just 3 glasses. We used to do like 6 or 7 shots before going to the bars.
It'd be like a whole bottle of Jameson.
Yeah. Between 3 of us, and we'd clear that bottle and then we're buzzed. So let's go get drunk.
It's crazy to think about. In college, 3 of us would play like this game called Asshole with cards. And it would be like, we'd go to the store, pick up a bottle of Jamie and 40s.
Yep.
And we go back home.
Oh, dude,
and we would
every time I partied with you and your friends,
clear a bottle of Jameson.
I hated that part.
It sucked.
I hated that part.
Dude. It sucked. And then it'd be like, time to go to the party.
Yeah, I'd be like,
let's go to the parties now. To do what? I don't know.
Yeah. At least we don't have to drink much anymore.
I mean, like I look back at it and I'm like, fun times. We had so much
fun.
Dude,
for that time. It really was fun.
But I'm really happy I got that out of my system.
Oh, totally. We've known people that don't start that phase. If you're ever going to go through a party phase, but they don't start that until 28 to 29.
Yeah.
And then they go through their 30s partying, where it's like now to being 30 and all the problems I'm having, I'm like, I'm so happy I'm not drunk all the time now.
Right. And that's how I was realizing, even, you know, being honest, like being with my son, where it'd be like, you know, most parents have a glass after a busy day, right? And their kids are doing homework or whatever. But it's like being really honest about like, when I finally realized it was time, like for like a couple years, I was thinking like, I really want to get sober from booze. And I would just say that in my head. Well, what does that really mean? That means not drinking while you watch a movie with your son and your love.
Yeah.
Oh, well, do you want to do that? No, but I want to try to get sober. But it's like, but I don't want to be sober, but I want to try to get, it's like, there's a weird thought that I was having. And when I finally was like, the thing with me, man, is when I made enough mistakes, what I mean by mistakes is part of like my biggest issue from my trauma, which we've talked about a lot in this cast, has been anger.
Yeah.
The way I've dealt with fear has been with anger.
Yeah.
The way I've dealt with being really, really excited has been like over the top rage.
Yeah.
And that's always been kind of my reactiveness. You stub your toe, you kind of slap a wall, you drop something on the ground. It's the fucking pen's fault. You know, it fell. And like, so there's always this reactive anger. And if there's one thing alcohol does is it kind of disassociates me would disassociate me from being able to catch myself, from being so reactive.
Letting yourself slip easier.
And so it only takes enough times, like, oh, the love of my life, this woman that I just am so in love with that like I would never do anything to hurt. And then all of a sudden it's like my words and my energy can become extremely destructive when things get hard because I'm drunk.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, it's like, I had to admit it, that it was like, I'm scaring the shit out of this woman that I want to marry. And it's only happened I can count on one hand. And it's like, it should never happen. Literally, there should never be a time I'm counting on one hand. But everyone makes mistakes. But why are you making mistakes? Because I'm not being honest.
Yeah.
So it was like the moment that it was like, I need to learn the relationship that I have with alcohol. It was like the only way I could do that was by quitting. So I quit.
Yeah.
And what I learned in that first month was that, oh, I can't drink anymore because I'm not getting angry anymore. It was like, I'm not getting angry in the same way. Like I'm actually able to see how I just broke so many rules by just like flipping out and like being so annoyed by life just because like alcohol was like, I'm relaxed. Are you? No, you're just like way more prone to anger. So that was me. I definitely abused alcohol in my own way. Not a nightly drinker, but I partied real hard. And then when it came to my relationships, whether it was hanging out with you, whether it was going to a person's house, whether it was going to the movies, whether it was sitting with my love watching a movie or just hanging out, whether it was playing a board game with my son, it was like, well, let's pour a glass of scotch. Well, let's have a glass of scotch. Well, let's have a glass of scotch because why not? We're about to do something. And it was time to be like, am I really spending time with myself? No.
Oh, yeah. It was always about getting the bottle wherever we would go, anything we would do. And it was for both of us. It wasn't just you. It was just about whatever we're going to do. Let's grab a bottle. And before we go into the movie, let's take a handful of swigs and then let's pour some in a water bottle and take some with us. You know, it was always about keeping a good buzz. And then because later tonight, we're going to get legit blacked out drunk. Yeah. But let's get through the movie, get a good buzz on. We'll put your kid to sleep and then let's go downstairs and get fucked up. Like that mentality was for most of my 20s at least. And oh man, I'm so happy I don't do that anymore. Yeah. There's something about like absolutely growing out of that and really growing out of it where it's like, I really don't want that ever again. I never want that again because I feel so much better without it mentally. It just taking the whole physical effects out of it, but like mentally, I feel so much better without being drunk.
So how do you feel better from taking that out? Is there anxiety less?
Everything's different now that I smoke weed. Yeah. Yeah.
Which we could jump into that being the next one. Yeah. But the thing I'll finish is for me, my anxiety and my depression changed once I quit alcohol. Something happened. This is just with me. And I don't judge anybody that drinks. Try not to. I really don't. Because I spent so much of my life partying, you know, and had so much fun that like that version of fun that like what happened with me was when in our culture, there's just so much that's pushed with like booze being it's a medicine and booze, it's capitalized on. It's a multi-trillion-dollar industry. So it's like, it makes sense why people choose alcohol as their first source of relaxation or whatever, or like my heart's broken, let's drink, let's drink. And for me, I felt like I gained some control over my life that I personally had always wanted for years. Like I'd always wanted to get sober. The moment that I just did it, it was hard for like 3 months because so much of my life was based off drinking, like doing things. But something happened where like I just saw myself in the mirror personally, just like so much happier. Like I looked in the mirror and was like, I'm proud of that person. Not for any other reason besides the fact that I knew I wanted to do it for me. Yeah. And so because of that, we could make this decision for anything. It's like just by taking more control over anything and learning that relationship, I felt really empowered by that. And that empowerment just grew and grew and grew and grew. And then it finally plateaued. And now it was like, now you're somebody who no longer drinks. And every once in a while I get these like weird bumps where I'm like, God, a glass of scotch sounds good. But what happens is it's like, but I love being in my head now. It's like, I love being sober. It's like, because that feels so good to me. It's almost like I get high off the sobriety. It's weird. Like watching movies and being present with my partner and my son is like, and this, doing like this type of stuff without having any sort of, no more hangovers.
Yeah.
I haven't been hungover in a year and a half.
Yeah.
Like I was so used to being hungover.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I am 100% okay never being hungover again.
Yeah.
And what's the one thing that does suck, and it doesn't really suck fully, but just that a lot of people that I love and a lot of things that are going on all the time are surrounded around getting drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like what happens when you stop drinking is you stop hanging out with, you stop going to things and hanging out with people that are like, you just start to realize that a lot of people are just getting drunk.
Yeah.
And you're like, were a lot of my friendships just surrounded by around booze? Yeah. Is that a bad thing? No, I just have I'm in a different place now.
Yeah.
And that can be a little bit, it's weird. It can be a little bit lonely. That's just the truth. And so you learn, like I read more and I like do things more on Friday. Like my Friday nights aren't about going out. They're about being home and working out. It's like, and I love that, it's like, I don't know. So, but yeah, when I quit booze, I was a cannabis smoker and user for, since I was
younger,
16 years old. That was my substance of choice.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll ask you first, because do you consider yourself, like, do you abuse marijuana now? And abuse is such an aggressive word, but I think that's what we're talking about.
I learned how to use it. That's the thing, is when I first started to enjoy it, I didn't know when I shouldn't be high, in terms of obviously I didn't want to be high at work. But other than that, like I didn't know if I should be going to mom and dad's high, or if I should be in public high, if it's good for my social anxieties. I just really didn't know. But I did a lot of learning, especially this last year, in 2022. I did a lot of learning on what weed is for me, and have really developed a relationship with weed that I really enjoy. And it's mainly like every single night I'll smoke before going to bed, or put on it like I want to be high for the movie type of thing. And it's like, talk about it like that, like, oh, I need it. It's like, sometimes it does feel like that, where I do need it. And it's hard not to feel that way when you really want something.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not sure if that's a bad feeling. I guess through this period of my life where I'm now accepting weed into my life, I'll figure that out in the long run, but it does feel a lot healthier than alcohol. And I do feel, if there's one thing about weed that is testing the boundaries for me, is it's with my anxiety, because especially recently, I've been having some highs that get really introspective, but like so introspective that you kind of start losing sight of your reality. Like kind of like I did when I was younger, when I would get high. And the reason why I never would smoke weed is I'd start to have these anxiety panic attacks of what's real. Am I real? And, sometimes it can get pretty negative, but I've gotten really good at controlling those thoughts. But I'm creating a relationship with marijuana now, and I started smoking at 29. Like really, when I think about it, and so I think I'm in the learning side of it. I can't tell if I'm dependent on it. When I do go through phases where my anxiety is really bad, I'll stop smoking for a handful of days, and I think that says a lot.
That says a lot.
Because it's really anxiety focused. That's my worry with weed. With
any substance, man, it's like if anything happens where you're like, wow, that was intense, and you stop it.
Yeah.
That's called learning the relationship. You're taking a step back, being aware.
Yeah.
And like, I could never do that.
Yeah. You very recently, have taken marijuana out of your life right when I start to make love with it. I know, baby.
Man. This is the same thing I was talking about the alcohol. It's like, I'm not here to judge the substance.
Yeah.
I'm only judging myself. Yeah. And even that has been aggressive.
Yeah.
So I'm in a new stage of my life where I'm just trying to mother myself. I'm trying to be gentle.
Yeah.
And the only way that I got to stopping my cannabis use was by being like a mother to myself. But yeah, talk about trauma.
Yeah.
I personally have learned my relationship with cannabis. Cannabis was I could smoke it by myself. I could smoke it with friends. I could smoke it at parties. I could smoke it at movies. I never had an issue until I was finally ready to be honest about it. And you were one that really helped me learn more about, like, I would feel certain anxieties and like just in life over years. And you would always say these comments where you'd be like, it's probably because you're high. And I'd be like, fuck you. Weed doesn't give me anxiety. It kills my anxiety. Weed is the medicine for my anxiety and my depression. I feel great on weed, which is true. But weed can give that low buzz anxiety no matter what. And I got so used to that low buzz anxiety of just life being high that like I forgot that weed can make me anxious.
Yeah.
And like, so social gatherings, hangouts, whatnot, I became super addicted to the anxiety of weed. Where like I was an anxious person normally, social anxiety, insecurities, not wanting to make new friends, afraid of getting my heart broken, all these things where like weed was the new thing that like kind of like got me in a zone of safety, feeling like, okay, now I'm high, we're chilling, bro, there's nothing to worry about. And then like I would ruminate on thoughts or have certain things and there'd be like a low buzz anxiety. And I would just be like used to that like, oh no, this is just how I feel. Even though I was saying that it was like really medicinal. And I think that like there was this really weird imbalance because I was using it so much and all the time. And like, especially when I quit alcohol was when I learned how incredible. I said this thing most of my life. I just want to be able to smoke with Snoop Dogg someday and keep up. And I got to a place where I was like, I can keep up.
Yeah.
Because my tolerance was so high and it was like, I can use it in any situation. And it made me feel great. And it would only last 15 minutes and I'd be ready for more.
Yeah.
And you know that if you're smoking and you are high for 15 minutes and you need more, your tolerance is probably maybe pretty high.
Probably a little too high.
I don't even know if it's too high because there are a lot of cultures in this world and people in this world that it's such a medicine. It's such a part of their culture where it's not about being high or not. It's about, this is what I do.
Yeah.
It's like I smoke weed. That's like, no, it's like I get off work and I smoke. Some people like just smoke it all day long. And and so for me, I no longer call cannabis. For me, I refer to it as
Mother Ganja, right?
Mother Ganja. Yeah. And I learned that recently at a retreat where I really learned my relationship with cannabis was that Mother Ganja is a mother. Like the plant itself is like referred to as a mother. And I think that as I've been really working on my trauma and in this cast and just through 3 years of therapy and retreats and other plant medicine like psychedelics, I've learned that I have feel like I have haven't had the love of a mother, which is hard to even admit because I love my mom. And I know she really loves me, but the parental trauma and religious trauma that I developed was like, I never felt accepted by my mama fully for what I thought and what I felt, like wanting to like not be a Christian and figure things out on my own. And it was very clearly communicated to me that I was wrong.
Yeah.
And we're not supporting you.
Yeah.
For most of my life, I felt like that was kind of like, you're on the wrong path. I'm very disappointed in you. And it was like, but I'm a good person. I'm a really good person. And it was like, yeah, but you don't believe what we believe. And it was like, I didn't feel like I had the unconditional love of a mother. So when Mother Ganja came into my life at 16 and I was dealing with severe insomnia since I was like 8 years old, I found a substance that held me at night and was like, shh, poor baby. It's okay, poor baby.
You're going to fall right to sleep.
And I'd fall asleep and I'd be like, and I'd wake up like, wow, I slept 8 hours.
Yeah.
Thanks, cannabis. I'm going to be using you every single night.
Yeah.
And because I had such and that's like insomnia was a thing that I felt like I developed really first.
And I feel like that's a really tough thing with weed that I'm starting to learn is that when you do smoke it pretty often at night, it helps you sleep so well. Like just, it'll knock me out, dude. Especially if I'm trying to go to sleep. I can fall right to sleep and then I will be out for the entirety of the night, wake up right at 8 and be ready to go.
Right.
And then the days where I do take 3 days off, that first day, I normally don't sleep well.
Right.
And that second day, I'll probably be so tired from not sleeping well that I go right to sleep. But for you, it was different. It was like you created quite the dependency on it that you would go 5 days without sleeping.
Yep.
With not even a wink. And you would be like losing your mind.
Yep.
And I've never seen something like that.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it all started with insomnia. So I never fully dealt with insomnia.
Yeah.
I just found medicine that worked. And cannabis, mother ganja, is a medicine. It's a plant medicine. It's a powerful. That's the thing, is I used to always think it's no big deal.
Yeah.
And that's fine. However people want to associate with it, it's fine. But when I finally took a big step back, I've quit before, but I had to quit for like nursing school and other things. But when I quit for myself, the one only time I quit for myself since I was 16 years old was like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And
I beg to differ. You went through a period, I want to say 5 years ago, when stuff was getting tough with your son and you were going through some really
and I quit
stuff, and you quit for like 6 months.
But what kept going?
No, I thought you quit alcohol and weed. Or did one of them stay around?
Every time I've quit something, the other thing has picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been like a teeter-totter.
Okay.
And I have vivid traumatic memories of how that's happened, you know, being like, I can't sleep, so I've gone to booze, and booze does not help you sleep. You
have to drink a lot of them to help you sleep. And then you're not sleeping, baby. You're just like,
yeah. Then you wake up feeling like shit.
Yeah. Terrible.
But yeah, like really choosing to, you have to be ready to stop something for yourself. And so for me, I never thought I'd quit cannabis. It was such a successful plant medicine. But I had to be really honest.
Well, so do you, let me ask you this. Do you have, what's your expectation on you and cannabis, mother ganja? Are you in this perspective of, I'm just never going to smoke weed again?
Oh, no. I'm not in that way with actually anything.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of myself still.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm living a new life, a life that's just living for me, not for covering up things. And living for me is painful. Like I'm scared of life. I'm scared of people. I'm scared of relationships, but I'm facing those fears now head on. So anything that scares me, I'm like, go deeper. Yeah. So if it's like, hey, you should call that friend you've been wanting to reconnect with. Yeah, but they're probably busy. Go deeper. Yeah. Why do you think they're busy? Go deep. You know, like stuff with my son. That's causing me so much anxiety. Go into that. Like not being afraid of that. And where in the past, when you're high, you might face certain things, but like being high is so wonderful. Like everything's just like, we're good. Yeah. So it's like, I got to do some paperwork that I don't want to do. Smoke a joint. And you get it done. For you. For me. Yeah. That's why I became so dependent on it. Yeah. Because I could write music, I could do paperwork and just be floating on that level of just like, take a weighted blanket and wrap it around you and like, you know, it's like, and I benefited a lot from it. So that's why I thought cannabis that's my medicine. Yeah. I still feel like it's a huge successful medicine. Like it works for me in my body and my mind, but something's changed. And what's changed is I took a big step back and had the opportunity to go on a retreat that required me to quit everything. Yeah. And when I do anything, I go to win. And I didn't want to go in half-ass. And so I did things very disciplined and seriously and didn't sleep for 6 days. It was like 3 months ago and did it. And it was excruciating. But I, in that 6-day process, learned there's something here. There's something going on right now. Like I am scared as a little baby in bed every night. Like what's going on? How is this like, there's something going on. I need to like really learn this. And I just want it so bad. I want it so bad. Like literally that feeling like I can't sleep. I don't know what to do. I feel so scared. Like really fucked up. And that once that first week was over, that second week was just like, I started dreaming again because I had stopped dreaming for so long. And not to get too lost in my process of quitting it, just the fact that like I was able to learn that my connection, and I don't think this is the same for you and mom and dad. Like you had a very different experience at the home. You know, like I was pretty much booted out. Yeah. Right after senior, like right at the end of senior year of high school, they were just like, you got to go. And I was like, you're right. I have to leave now. Yeah. And it was like a kicking out and a mutual I'm out. Yeah. And so when I left, it was like, I didn't have anything else. Like weed was whether it was a bad breakup or mommy issues or daddy issues, it was like, I just want to be held and coddled. So weed became that for my mind, for my body, for my thoughts, and lasted most of my life at that age, 16, 17, until about 32 years old.
Yeah.
And what I learned was that like, I need to be my own mother. And I explained that on a podcast prior, but like at this retreat, I had this out of body experience where I became my own mother out of body, wrapped my arms around me, and my real arm came around like this. But right in my experience, I was me right here holding me just like a mother would. And I was just like whispering sweet love nothings, sweet love everything. I was just going, baby, I'll never leave you. I'll never forsake you. I love you, Nene. And I was just like, you do? And it was just like me being a mother, like, I'm your mother and I'm never going to, I've always been here. I'm never going to leave you. And it was like this, I experienced really kind of for the first time, me mothering myself. And I learned like, we all have mommies and daddies. Some of us have really bad experiences with mommies and daddies. Some of us have really wonderful mommies and daddies. But the reality is, mommies and daddies die. We all die. And I think at some point, who's going to mother you when your mother's not there? Who's going to mother you when you have no mother?
Or who's going to mother you when your mother's love isn't going to work for you anymore?
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be the one.
Yeah.
And so like my relationship has helped show me that. But even that was kind of like, oh, my girl ain't going to mother me. She's the type of girl that's like, yo, Nathan, you need to get your shit together. And there's like so much love and she has so much coddling. But when it comes to me being a like, nobody understands me, like a crying, like little, my inner child being like an 8-year-old is what I've always said. When that 8-year-old would come out and be like, nobody gets me, not even you. She'd be like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck this is.
Yeah.
Get your shit together.
Yeah.
Like I came here to love like a person, not a kid. And so what I learned was like, no one's going to love that 8-year-old like that. Like no one's going to like when that 8-year-old's like, nobody understands me. I am the only person.
Yeah.
And that's this mother inside of me that's now like, yo, hey, buddy, come here. Nobody gets me. I do.
Yeah, dude. It sounds like the definition of self-love.
It's self-love.
It's like pure ego destruction to a point of where you had an out-of-body experience where you loved yourself to the nth degree.
Oh, yeah. And it was
showing
scary.
you and proving to you that in this reality, in this existence, whatever this truly is, you really only need yourself.
Yeah.
And I think there's something so powerful there when it comes to addictions and when it comes to substance abuse, because I feel like the abuse is trying to feel that love.
Right.
And
or the lack of it.
The lack of it. Yeah. And either hiding from the lack of it, and it's all yourself. It's all self-created, whether it be trauma that was forced upon you in your childhood, whatever. We all have trauma. But in reality, it comes down to you're just not loving yourself.
Right.
You're just not loving yourself.
Yeah. And loving myself is, oh, I'm anxious today because of, or like, I don't want this to be happening to me anymore. I'm in pain. And it's like, normally that feeling is when I'm in pain, I just want to be out of it.
Yeah.
I just want to get out of it. Like me and Megan, my fiance, she just talked to me about this. And it's like, when we're in pain, obviously I just want to be out of it.
Yeah.
So whatever I do after that, if it's like out of line or reactive, it's probably because I just don't want to be in pain anymore. And so for me now, it's kind of like, oh, I don't want this. I'm scared. It's like, go deeper.
Yeah.
How could I do that? Because baby, you're never alone.
And that's because
and that's my inner voice.
Yeah.
I love you so much, Nene. You're never going to be alone, buddy. But I'm so scared right now. It's like, but you're never alone.
But the reason why you can tell yourself to go deeper is because you're realizing your reactiveness is from the fear of the pain.
Right.
And so once you realize that I feel the fear, I feel the pain, I'm going to react. And like you're recognizing that it's because of that feeling. You're taking control of that feeling, and then you can't react because you're already recognizing why you would react, and it's all self.
Right.
And then so you're like, I'm going to go deeper, and this is going to suck.
Go deeper.
And then you go deeper and you start crying.
Yeah.
You start losing it a little bit. You think you're losing it, but really you're actually just feeling the feelings you're supposed to feel. Yeah.
And you know what really helps going deeper? Being able to talk about it out loud with somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel very fucking lucky to have you. But really, it's me and my partner, my fiance.
Totally.
I have found somebody where we both are learning every day, every week, every month. And it's hard, where it's like, I notice something's going on in her life, or she notices something going on in my life. And she's like, comes up to me, and we're different communicators. And she stands right by me, and she's just like, what's going on? And I'm like, can you give me some space? And she's and like, that's how I used to react. Right. But now it's like, I've been feeling pretty uncomfortable for the last 4 hours, and that's enough time for me to realize I need help. Well, what's going on? And it's like, oh my God, this is in my head. I'm like, this is so hard to know how to communicate right now, because I'm just feeling like I don't want to deal with something. And then what happens is, if I'm not able to communicate to myself on the inside what's going on, like that mother, and talk about it with that mother inside of me, then I have a partner who's there, who cares about me, who loves me, who feels safe enough now to enter into that fear place with me and be like, hey, you don't have to be alone. I can't take your fear from you, but use me as a sounding board. Tell me, what are you scared of right now? And I'm like, well, I'm really scared of this. And when I say it all out loud to her, it's like, I can breathe.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make the pain go away. It just makes me feel less alone.
Yeah.
And so I feel really lucky to have her. I feel really lucky to have this cast. I feel really lucky just to have that inner dialogue now. And that is why, when you say, what's my relationship with weed? That is why I have nothing bad to say about weed.
Yeah.
That's why I have like only weed has like only shown me the love of a mother. And now it's time that I do that for myself. And so am I scared going back to it? Yeah. Why? Because I'm a real good abuser. I become dependent on this shit. And so there has been times where I've almost been like, yo, tonight's the night where I'm going to smoke a joint. And the reason why I haven't is because now I'm scared of myself.
Well, now, dude,
not the current, the
now
past.
You're going to get so high when you ever choose to smoke again.
I mean, possible. I think it's just like, it's weird, man. I wish I could describe it. It's like coming from a place where I just needed things so much. And now when you just don't need something anymore because you've just grown a little bit above it, because you can see it clearer, I can just see what weed is right now.
Yeah.
And what that plant is. And I never had so much respect that I do now. So now when I see weed or whatever, it's like, I respect that. That plant's serious.
Yeah.
That plant really can help you feel love. That plant can show you a lot of love. And it's like, I have respect for a plant that can help me feel loved.
Yeah.
And what I learned was, it's like, I have to do that for myself. And so that's where I'm at with it. And it does suck that, like, after you spending so much of your life being so anxious of the same plant that provided me coddling, and that was the plant that scared you the most, it's like, now here you are experiencing, just at your later age, benefiting from it. And I'm like, fuck yeah, don't stop. Because I'm like, there's so much benefit in this plant. And I will stand by that. And it's like, but for me, and like, I can't say this for anybody else, but like for me, I'm just here to learn the relationship of the substances that I've been dependent on, or that have become, when something becomes where it's like, hey, I'm about to hang out with my partner, or I'm about to hang out with my son, but wait, let me use this substance first. That's where I'm like, I need to learn that relationship.
Well, and it's good to recognize that. And I think that's the power.
Yeah.
It's just recognizing that if you have to do something before you do something, maybe ask yourself a question if you have to do it.
That can be anything, but really it's like, why do you need to be high before you go play a board game? I don't know. Do you want to know? Not yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Go be high.
Yeah.
Because it's safe and it's fun and you're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
I need to be, I'm going to go get high before this board game. But why? I don't know. Do you want to know why? I do. Well, then you can't be high yet.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
It's like, that was the process forever until finally I got to a place where it was like, I have an opportunity to do something that is encouraging me to quit for a while. And I can go back to it when I'm done. It's like, hey, you can go back to when you're done, but just give yourself 3 weeks. And it's like 3 weeks and a powerful plant medicine that takes you through black holes in the cosmos that help you have an out-of-body experience where you become your own mother, might help you break dependency.
Yeah.
So that's why I believe in psychedelic therapy as being a huge medicine in and of itself. Other plants being a huge medicine to help you with the dependency of other plants.
100%.
It's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
So Bless the plants.
Bless the plants. But I know it's getting late, but there isn't a couple other substances I really want to bring up. But prescription substances, have you ever abused like a doctor's prescription? Because that's a tough one for me because it's prescribed to you.
Right.
And so to think of abusing it, it's like, oh, well, totally. I have, but it's my medicine. It's so easy to talk yourself into that.
Yeah. I think the icing on the cake is Adderall.
100%.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding dong.
Yeah. Bing bong. Adderall was a highly abused, prescribed medicine. That was
Adderall, man, is something, this ADHD world we live in, where a lot of people have ADHD now. And I blame science, but then I also blame just like the come up of technology and social media kind of creating this dependency for dopamine. But most people I run into, we have ADHD. I have pretty bad ADHD. You have pretty bad ADHD. We've gotten a lot better on this podcast handling our ADHD.
Which I just want to point out, I don't think I have ADHD.
You think you were just stoned?
I think that I think I had a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm getting at.
So get at it. Yeah.
So I was from 17, I got prescribed antidepressants from the panic attacks I would have that would shut my life down for like 6 months. And those numbed me and it worked for the time being. And then I was, from that time on, I was on antidepressants until about 25, where I chose to come off them. But then 6 months after being on antidepressants at 17, they were making me really lethargic and tired, like they normally do once you start to just kind of take a pretty high dose of them. So they gave me Adderall, not because I had ADHD, but because I was getting tired. And I remember the first time I took...
You were prescribed Adderall because you were getting tired from the antidepressants?
Exactly.
But
I wasn't yet diagnosed with ADHD, didn't know I had ADHD, but I remember the first time I took Adderall, everything made sense. Where it was like, I can think a perfect sentence and I can get the job done. And I started tinting my windows and like wanting to get really into tint, but my motivation was clear. And like everything was so clear. And I was prescribed such a high dose from like right at the start. It was like 30 milligrams twice a day. Never taken it before. Didn't know what I was doing.
Wow.
Mom and dad were okay with it because it was from a doctor, you know?
Right. And, Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very, very strong drug because we went on Blouse to very much abuse Adderall,
right?
So that we could continue drinking copious amounts of liquor and also just feel amazing. But this started to show me that I might have ADHD because every time I would take it, everything would get clear and my day would be clear. And that kind of started the process of me going on Adderall, off Adderall, on Adderall. But then from like 23 till about 28, 29, strongly took Adderall religiously on a daily basis for a really long time. And then we had a pretty good supplier in the Blouse days, and we would just... If there's any drug that I can like, I abused, it's like, I abused Adderall.
And what's tough is that Adderall works.
Yeah.
It, like you just said, like you were prescribed it for being tired because of the antidepressants, which is wild.
Yeah.
But that like the benefit of the actual prescribed medicine or the drug Adderall, because it's an amphetamine. And so you are turning on and you're clicking in and all of a sudden it's like, I wrote 3 songs in one night.
Yeah.
There's something here.
Yeah.
And I think that that's real.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like being honest about that is it's like, that's why it was like so highly addictive. And that's why it was so easily to be abused is because
we wrote a whole album in a weekend.
Yeah. We did a whole album.
We did a lot of Adderall.
A lot of it, like the way I think about it is Adderall is sort of, and they're not the same, but they are, I'd say like distant relative cousins. Is the Adderall of today was like the cocaine of the 80s in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, cocaine was all throughout SNL. You know, it's like, how did the SNL people write for 18 hours?
Yeah,
how would they have like writing sessions until 4 a.m. every single night and then act on Saturdays and do it every week?
And pure crystal too.
It's like straight, but like cocaine was a massive medicine for these writers that was just like highly addictive and abused and like, but shit came out of it. Was it funny? Some of it was really funny.
Yeah, Chris Farley was amazing.
Not all of it was funny.
No.
Some of it was shit.
Yeah.
Because it's like a hit or miss, right? It's like, I'm hitting it. And then you listen to like your music the next day and you're like,
It doesn't sound the way I want it to sound.
Interesting. I wrote 2 songs that honestly aren't that great.
Yeah.
But they got done.
But I finished them.
They're finished and they're mixed and mastered. Mm-hmm. And so like when shit works, when anything works, can be easily abused.
Yeah.
Substance wise, I think. And all of these substances we've already talked about really work. Mm-hmm. Adderall is one where it's clicked on, clicked in, let's go, turn on, click, let's go, move. And reading's always been difficult. We've connected on that. Where like the hard work of reading is like, I really love reading, but it's hard. So when I was using Adderall, I didn't have a prescription for it until I was diagnosed with ADHD about 3 years ago. But like, yeah, and college days, you always find like a friend that had the prescription, and then you'd get some and you'd be like, wow, that was a lot easier.
Yeah.
Studying.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to figure out if I have ADD or anything. I'm just going to keep getting it from my friend.
Yeah.
Right. That's like the huge issue.
Yeah.
And so like, but the thing is, it's like, it was an upper. And so for me, it was like, they really worked, and I benefited from it academically and intellectually at times to be aware and like read books and like get through them and be like, I love the fact that I can read while using this medicine. But then of course it was being used at parties, being used going out.
There was just nothing like, and I'm saying this just from pure honesty. There was really nothing about being like real drunk and doing a good line of Adderall, like railing a line of Adderall, feeling it, being like, now all I want to do is party more.
Yeah.
And I feel good. And then you just keep going, and the dangers of that, which I'm being honest about, but how many times and how deep we would go into that, like drinking, Adderall, drinking.
That's what I think, like where this is a prescribed medicine.
Yeah.
Where you had a prescription for it by a doctor in massive amounts, where the thin line of using it for the reasons why you're prescribed, which even like in your experience, you're prescribed for the wrong reasons. Sleepiness is not a reason to be prescribed Adderall.
I ended up getting prescribed Adderall for ADHD.
Right, later.
Yeah.
But the reality is that it's such an easily abused substance.
The sad reality of that though, man, is I realized I was abusing it. My anxiety kicks in pretty quick when I'm abusing something, and then I start to feel guilty for abusing it. And I recognized it pretty quick. And I wanted to get off Adderall. And so I would met with my doctor and said, this is making me feel anxious and weird. And it's I can take like, I just don't like the way it makes me feel. I feel like jittery and I'm getting shit done, but like whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so they put me on a thing called Focalin, and Focalin was 10 times worse.
Focalin. Wow.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
And then I tried Ritalin, I think, for a little bit. And then I was like, none of these are going to work for me because it increases my anxiety. But the real anxiety was, I think I'm abusing it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even really abusing it yet back then. But then I got on Vyvanse. And Vyvanse was the game changer for me because I couldn't abuse it. I really couldn't. I even one drunken night tried to open up the capsule and rail it, and it put me to sleep. Honestly, it was like, that did not work. And so I couldn't abuse it. But when I took it, when I would take my pill in the morning, and I was for a long time, I was on a pretty hefty dose of Vyvanse. I've never been so dependent on something like I was on my Vyvanse. And in the year 2021, I was going to lose my health insurance. Well, I was losing my health insurance, and I couldn't get health insurance through my work at the time. It was a big issue. And so I didn't choose. I wasn't going to be able to get my Vyvanse prescription anymore. And so I had to quit cold turkey. And it was like three weeks of probably the worst withdrawal effects and everything than any dependency I've ever had.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like, and I was actually taking it properly at that time. I wasn't abusing it. And it was
brutal coming off.
But it was the best thing for me, because how else would I have come off it? Like, honestly, if I could have kept getting it, it was really helping me at the time.
Interesting.
But now we were just talking about this with our mom. Now my blood pressure is fantastic again. I had high blood pressure from all my 20s, and no one was doing anything about it. And I started to get really worried. And that's kind of what led me to come off it, is I started to talk to my doctor about my blood pressure, which is funny enough. They should be talking to you about your blood pressure. And I was like, I think this is dangerous. I've been having high blood pressure for 7 years straight. And my doctor time was like, what? You have high blood pressure? And then I was like, and I'm losing my health insurance. And I think I should come off all the medication now that you don't know that. Sorry, I'm rambling now, but
no, it's true though.
Real eye opener for me. And I came off all my medication. I was on 3 medications at the time, but there's something I was trying to bring up there when I brought up Adderall of prescribed dependencies,
right,
instead of chosen dependencies,
right.
Whereas like weed and alcohol are choices
right.
I have chose to partake in, especially alcohol. And there's been times where I've been very dependent on it. But when it comes to Adderall, it was introduced to me by a doctor. When it comes to SNRIs, which I can say I was dependent on my SNRIs. I don't think I abused them, but I was very dependent on them for sanity and avoiding my anxieties and avoiding my trauma. Was dependent because of a doctor. And I think that's an interesting correlation. Because a lot of people get addicted to like Norco. Good friend of mine was a pretty heavy Norco addict for a very long time. Ruined his life for a really long time. And there's nothing like seeing people addicted to downers, but it's prescribed by a doctor. And he would get these prescriptions, man. And
that's why California is trying to do this insane shit where like people that used to get 80 pills of Norco a month only can get 10 or 5. And they've had insane, it's like a brutal, it's like hard to get pain meds now.
Oh yeah.
Like than what it used to be, just because of
my last surgery, they gave me heavy Tylenol.
There was also like, heavy Tylenol, which works great.
No, yeah. I mean,
if you need it.
Yeah. What's great is I had marijuana. And so you take the Tylenol and you smoke a joint.
I mean, cannabis is just a fantastic medicine.
Yeah.
And it's plants, baby. It really does work. We were both prescribed Vyvanse at the same time. You were the one that was like, hey, you need to get off Adderall, because I was like, it's causing me anxiety, but it's working, but I don't want to use it. And I'm like needing to take more and more and more. And I was already on the path of cleaning up and like getting more sober and so then I got in Vyvanse, and it was like a very successful
it's
medication.
It's a very successful medication.
And, I'm going to sound like a real, I think that like being these prescriptions, like, like they're just dangerous.
They are.
They're just dangerous. If you could prescribe them and they will work, but it just, when like something like Vyvanse or Adderall or any amphetamine that you're prescribed by a doctor, just know that you're going to have a really hard time coming off of it.
That's what they don't tell you.
You're going to have a lot of depression and anxiety coming off of it.
You're having a panic attack. We see that. Oh, your last 6 months have been miserable. You haven't gotten through anything. Well, we can give you a drug that in a month from now, you'll start to feel better. And we can guarantee that that's all they tell you. Your panic's going to go away. Anxiety's going to get a little better. They don't tell you that you're just not going to feel as much.
Right.
And they also don't tell you that coming off this is going to be worse than coming on it.
Yeah. And you're going to also not probably be able to think nearly as well.
No, not at all.
For like 2 weeks. Like your thoughts are going to feel like oatmeal.
Yeah. Like someone took a stick and just mixed up your brain a little bit.
It's you get hooked on this shit and then you can't come off of it. And so I think you're making a good point that a lot of prescribed medicine out there for attention deficit disorders or depression, in our experience, worked. But really, the antidepressants just suppressed us from focusing on our trauma.
They treat the symptom and they do not treat the problem.
Yeah. But things like Adderall, they last for like a small amount of time and they work well, but they crash hard. Every day you crash.
Totally. Mornings were way different because it was, well, let me get my Adderall and my coffee because nothing's going to happen until that.
Right.
And the days where I would take a day off, because that's when you're on Vyvanse, you're supposed to take a day off or 2 days off as much as you can so that you don't build up a tolerance. And I got to a point where I was like, day off? Hell no.
Yeah,
I won't get shit done. And it actually, relating back to what we were talking about, the only way I would take a day off my Vyvanse, which was prescribed by my doctor, mind you, that I need to take a day off, only way I would do it is to be so drunk the night before that I would just have a hangover day.
Interesting. Oh, the domino effect.
It's so interesting talking about our substance abuse because when you look back at it, it's like, man, did we abuse certain things? But
being honest.
Yeah, it is. But we just don't anymore.
Yeah. And I'm living a new life.
Yeah.
And I've wanted this for a long time. And I'm the I'm going like right now in my personal life, I'm going through some really hard shit right now.
Yeah.
And like, ooh, wow, poor Nathan. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's just I know we all are. I mean, I am just another version of everybody else. If I'm going through hard shit, so is everyone else.
Yeah.
And I'm just learning how to feel it, really feel it. And so, and it makes me really present in that pain. And I'm starting to learn that this is a part of life. Part of life is feeling like not on every day, not perfect every day, really happy because of certain situations. And when you're really happy, it's really easy to concentrate. And when you're really sad, it's really hard to concentrate.
Yeah.
What do you know? Well, what's making you sad? Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's okay that you're sad. Maybe you shouldn't do those things right now because you're suffering from this.
Yeah.
Oh, but I have to do this. Well, then do it. Yeah. I don't know. It's like, then just get through it.
When you just take the ability to even have a substance to help you get through something, then you just deal with it. You just do it. And there's something about having that empowerment of being powerful enough to do the hard work when you normally would use a substance to disassociate just a tiny bit, but you didn't this time, and you didn't the past time, you didn't the time before that, and look how strong I'm becoming.
Right.
Because my problems aren't taking control of my life anymore because I am in control.
Yeah. It makes me think that like so much of the first 30 episodes or 25 episodes of this podcast, however many episodes of this podcast, I was stoned.
Oh, I mean, we both were for the most part. I started taking some off because I was
just really stoned. And so like you can go back and watch the beginning of our podcast. It's great.
No, you function pretty well stoned. There was a couple times where I think we would get a little lost.
But the honest truth, man, is I'm here. I'm listening now.
I was going to mention that ever since you have taken weed out, the podcast has just gotten better. Every single week.
It's just true. Got to be honest about it. And it's hard to be honest in the past about it. But now it's like, I've been wanting to be honest. Be honest with yourself, and you'll be on. And then honesty comes out in every single way.
Yeah.
And this podcast is a lot of work. There's no reason to numb it out.
Yeah.
I love the work, and that's like something that I'm really benefiting in my life now. Is that life is hard work, and I like the work.
Yeah.
And some days I don't.
Yeah.
But like then I'm here to experience that.
Yeah.
And so it's been good. And who would have thought that Shia LaBeouf was right?
What was he right about?
Just do it.
Dude, he's been right many times.
Just do it.
That might be one of his best works.
It was so powerful, man. It makes so much sense.
It does. It really fucking does.
There are a lot of more substances, but when it comes to abuse, it's like those are the main ones.
Yeah.
You know, and
totally.
I'll say it, man. I'm really proud of where you've come. I know that our whole lives we've fed off of each other, and me being honest about that has been hard. Like it's like Zach's his own person, and you're like Nathan's his own person. But I'll never forget when you looked at me after months of being sober, and you were like, there was something that happened between me and my partner, and it was difficult. And she had like left the house for a while. This is like years ago, a long time ago.
I know what you're talking about.
And you called me because you had heard about what happened, and you were like, I'm coming over right now. And you were like, if you were still drinking, I want you to know I wouldn't be coming over right now.
No, I got here and you were going through a lot of emotions being expressed, and I wasn't leaving. And normally when certain emotions would get expressed, certain angers and really excitable, I would leave. And you were crying. If we're just gonna be vulnerable, and you were crying, and you were like, "Why aren't you fucking leaving? Leave!" And I was like, "Nate, why would I leave? You're not drunk."
Yeah.
I remember telling you that, and I remember even when I said that, I was like, I didn't even know I felt that way until this second. But there was something really powerful about that.
I remember I wasn't even at the time. I was angry. I was still dealing with a lot of anger back then. But I remember I was just really sad.
Yeah.
I was just really hurt and really sad. And I was telling you just leave, because that's like always been my issue, is like, if I can't have things my way, then I don't want things anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I can't have life the way I want it, then you can leave too. Get out.
Yeah.
I don't need anybody.
Yeah.
And which had been very destructive in my life. And when I was saying like, yeah, why are you still here? I remember when you said that was one of the hardest truths at that time. But it was like, when I heard it, I was just like, I already know that. And that made so much sense. And that was such a healing moment for me to be like, me quitting alcohol, for me, knowing why I need to quit it, has given me the relationships I've always needed and wanted.
Wow.
So talk about proof.
Yeah.
Talk
seriously.
about like healing, and the gold at the end of hard work is kind of like you're going through a hard time, but now I feel safe because your energy is different. You know, it's like you're actually serving yourself more than the substance is serving you.
Mm.
And that was a eye-opening moment, man. That was really powerful for me.
It was powerful for me too, dude.
And on the term of like talk about anger, I've gotten frustrated a couple times in life recently, but they present so differently. Like I don't feel anger anymore, man. Like I feel so much less angry in my life.
Mm.
I haven't gotten angry in so long. It's insane.
Mm.
So I really am, like, all pride aside, living proof of like how to myself, I'm living proof to myself that I could conquer these pretty overwhelming reactive emotions that like or anger is not even really an emotion, right? It's like anger is like this.
It's a reaction.
Force.
Yeah.
And I've really started to rise above it. It's been really wonderful. Just do it. Do it. Well, I believe it's time. This is, I guess maybe it's a little bit longer of a podcast than usual, but substance abuse is a long topic.
They should be happy that we gave you a longer podcast.
Yes. Thank you for the few of you that watch long content. But let's go ahead and jump in to the game cam. Make that game. Love it. And music cue now. Speaking of music, if you're listening to that music in the background, that is from yours truly.
Yeah, when's this album coming out?
I know, do we have like 30 songs now?
Like, I think we're on the second album at this point.
Life changes, things get ahead of yourself. But we have a lot of music to make albums out of.
We do.
Those game cams would be great.
I am going through a reformatting of my computer, which you know all about. Oops, sorry, I hit B instead of A.
That's okay.
And now that my computer's reformatted and I can organize
Reformatting?
everything.
I have a Mac Mini. I don't reformat. I have an M2 chip.
Yeah,
baby.
aren't you cool? But what I'm starting to do is all of my starter projects, I've always wanted to do this, but I have so many starter projects. And so having to go through all my projects again and make sure they work, all the projects I've been working on, whatever, I'm rendering out MP3s of every single one that I can have in the project folder. So instead of having to open the project to listen to what the song might be, you just play the MP3.
Beautiful.
It's so much easier.
Yeah. I do that too. Rendering?
You always render an MP3 so you can
I
listen
render
to
it too. It comes out AIFF, right? And MP3. So especially because it's like I always want to save my tracks into like for like easier version.
So you can just listen to it. Yeah, exactly. It's so smart, dude.
You're doing Toad again?
I don't like change.
We're going to, this is a Mario Kart. It's going to be Skyscraper 2.0. So it's a fast match.
Yeah, it's be a big one.
Fine, I'll do. You know what? Mario. Because Mario is really popular these days. Skyscraper 2.0.
The first time we did this one, it was a great match. Let's see if we get another great one.
3. Don't forget the controls. Boom! I didn't get that boost because I suck. Oh my gosh. Oh, I got that star right when I needed it.
Oh, goodness.
Oh my gosh, get something.
Oops.
Oh, you fell. That would have been great if I had that.
Not a good start.
Come on, please land right here. You're going to land right here. No!
If I would have landed right there, that would have been...
Where are you?
Wonderful.
Ah! One more balloon.
Oh, it's okay.
One more balloon. Come here. Come here. If I run into you, you're dead. Oh,
no,
yeah!
Smooth moves.
We call that a suicide mission, baby.
Smooth moves, Nathaniel.
This might be another quick game.
No, it's not quick.
0-1 Mario, 0-0 Toad. Round 2, best out of 3.
Best out of 3.
That was a smooth move, baby. Oh, yes. Come to daddy. Look at us. We're just staying in the center. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? There you are. Yes.
Oh, okay. I see the strategy.
Let's play, baby. Oh, no!
dude.
Where are you gonna land?
What am I doing?
Where are you gonna land? We're gonna land right here.
What am I
You're gonna land
doing?
right here. Oh shoot! I don't have anything.
No, dude. No.
Oh, that was so cool.
That was very close.
Oh, I had you. That would have been brilliant.
Yes! Oh, I hit yours.
Oh my gosh, that was intense. I can't believe you said. Oh, nice jump. Where you going, Bubba? Where you going, baby? Seriously? How did you get another star? Ooh, you got the bananas, huh? Come out. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I'm going to banana territory. Whoa, missiles coming out. More bananas. Nice, you got that method?
Oh, no. Yeah.
That was beautiful!
I froze. Both those games I froze so hard.
Mario!
Dang, dude. That is not the way I wanted that to go.
The last match, you kind of killed me that way.
I know.
It was just like brutal.
I really thought tonight was going to go different, man. It's a shame.
It's weird.
A shame.
It's weird when you hop on Mario Kart and you know you're in it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, you just like more in it. When you're not in it, it's kind of like, what am I doing?
Well, there's sometimes when I play where I realize where it's like, okay, the goal is actually just to take away your balloons. That's it. And so the suicide mission where it's like, you're at 1, I'm at 2. I'm just going to kill myself to kill you. And you win. And it's like that winning mentality. Where other times where I'm like, I'm just not getting good stuff. And I'm just trying to drive around and then I fall off. And I'm like, dang it, I just lost a balloon.
I feel really good about that.
Whatever. Are we just gonna, I guess we'll figure out the next game somehow. Or we're just gonna go 3 players.
No, I mean, I think that it's just like the board games. I mean, like we should find another game, and we do have the new Mario Kart.
Do they have battles like they used to?
Pretty sure.
Cool. We should try that then.
I think the next game cam, we'll just open it and see
some new map.
Just see the battles, yeah. And just because we both don't really know how to play it that well.
Yeah.
And it'd probably be, it is what it is.
Yeah, probably somewhat similar. It's
just going to be crazy.
Rage,
yeah. And it's also, you can like do this, where you like turn and it turns the...
Oh, I hate that.
You don't have to do it that way.
Yeah, I know.
That was good. Echo. Garage on.
That timing's pretty good.
I'm trying to get it every time now. Every time, baby. Lights on.
Lights on, baby.
Well, this is a good talk, and if you enjoyed it, please subscribe. And
I forgot to announce. Oh, we're supposed to be doing announcements at the beginning of the podcast.
Whatever. I mean, I have announcements too. We can do it next week.
No, I mean, my song's going to be out by this time. I was supposed to announce the last podcast that my song Pay Me is coming out on Friday the 23rd. This podcast is coming out on your birthday, the 25th. Wait, no, actually, this comes out on the 23rd.
Yeah.
Right now, my song just came out. Pay Me. Go listen to it.
Yeah, and I have some announcements, but they're not like that important yet.
Why don't... Actually, I'll let you just do your announcements.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not worried about it. But this has been a long cast, so we're going to call it.
Yeah, let's call it.
Love you.
Love you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
And we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.